So excited to be back on Queen's Table. It's been a while and it's good to be back feeling refreshed. Are you? So it's wonderful to have our first guest, or my first guest of the year, because we did have one, but I was unfortunately not been able to make it. We have the lovely Cheniel, and your title is Young European International Ms. Staffordshire. Is that correct?
That's me.
Oh, fabulous. I like it. So, you have held this title for 2 years. So, this is quite a long time, isn't it? So, what I'm going to ask you is, how have you been doing this last 2 years? You must have done so much. You're going to have to tell me a bit about this journey.
Probably way too much, let's say. It has been a fun-filled 2 years, even though, yes, we had to deal with Rona, as I'm pretty sure we all have. But I just felt like it gave me a lot more time to focus on me and what I wanted to do, and even just recreating my platform. And originally, what I planned to do as a Queen's project, I actually launched as a finalist because I felt like it was needed. So let's see if I can remember the breakdown. I've done my appearance folder, and I've actually now managed to do 88 appearance. Of course, a lot of that has been, virtual and digital wise, but not all just campaigns, but there were some like virtual talks as well that I got involved with. That was just like, you know, really good for me to do. I did a virtual talk for schools in Congo and Ghana to talk about all about domestic abuse and how it affects people of color, and especially people living with HIV as well, which was quite a great topic to speak about. That was probably my all-time favorite appearance, considering I was sitting at home doing it during my lunch break at
Wow.
work. So that was
That's
like fun to
incredible.
do. Yeah, but to have 88, even though Yemi does not really count appearances, I'm extremely proud of myself, and that's already a great achievement for me to have to come away with and walk away with to do those appearances. Oh gosh, started my own campaign. Hashtag
Yay.
not always as it seems. That was really focused on the non-physical side of abuse, because we were in lockdown and abuse became a massive topic, but we weren't really focusing on the non-physical side, the ones that you don't really see the signs of, and you wouldn't be able to tell that certain persons are going through this. So started the campaign to really spark the conversation around that, which it was really great thinking of the side. And I must thank Hannah from Sparkles and Rhinestones for helping me to come up with the idea. It's just one great shot, all glamorous and looking amazing, and the other just really stripped back to just show that how a person can have two different sides. They can show the world, the happy, the fun, the bubbly, and then the other side that they really like at home and how they deal with it, because you can't see any scars or anything. It could be emotional, financial abuse, it could be gaslighting that they're going through, and it all festers inside. And for me, it was so important to just give that and spark the conversation. Just like messages that I've received from women that I've not even met about, thanking me for starting that, because they came more self-aware of their situation, and even just coming aware of how they can help people as well, and not knowing the after effect of how that can affect someone. And abuse doesn't just affect women, they do affect men, family, young kids. It's just looking out for those signs, and it's just from that made me start my podcast Project Her, because it just made me think that I'm holding on to this Queen's project. And yes, it's all good and great winning with the crown and to start it, but it's essential now. So I started my podcast to really spark those conversations, so women can have that feeling of togetherness and knowing that they're not the only one going through those experiences that happen. And we've really like broken some boundaries with like some conversations we spoke about, because pageantry, we tend to kind of be a bit softy on our approach. I definitely was total opposite when I was asking the question.
Yeah.
I was with one of I do it with my close friend as a co-host, and we didn't beat around the bush at all with
No.
the interviews and the questions, because we spoke about topic like PCOS, which many women don't are not fully aware of until they get diagnosed. We talk about, you know, what it was like growing up in the UK as a Black woman, where we spoke to Ashley Smith, that was a mixed race, that didn't felt like she fit in anywhere, as well as, you know, speaking about mental abuse, going through mental abuse and how that affects them. And, you know, we sparked so many great conversations, and I'm just, you know, to be able to do 10 episodes in and having those 10 great conversations, I'm very much looking forward to the upcoming seasons, because they only get deeper from there. And I could talk for ages. I've done so much, so I'm going to stop myself now.
Oh, no, it's amazing. And it sounds so interesting. I mean, I'm going to be, for one, definitely listening to those podcasts. If people want to listen to these podcasts, could you tell them where to find them?
Yeah, of course. It's on all platforms, like all platform that podcasts can find. So wherever you listen to your podcast, it's there. It's called Project H.E.R. So Project Her, and you'll be able to see a little cartoon character with myself and my best friend Gemma, that, you know, with duct tapes on our mouths, kind of ripping off. So that's all about taking off the duct tape and making those conversations. And if you have any interest of wanting to come on and share, you do have the option of doing that anonymously as well as, you know, you can come openly share your experience. It's just important that we break those taboo topics, because I truly believe in that we have to feel uncomfortable in situations before we can feel comfortable. So, you know, I'll just continue speaking up on those topics, and there's no limit really. We don't beat around the bush with it. So we are open to everything.
I really like that approach, because it, you know, it is important to go out your comfort zone, or some women to go out their comfort zone to actually get to the feeling better afterwards. And it is a real strong platform, real strong campaign and everything like that. And it's really important that you're using your voice to change other people. And I think that's amazing. I mean, it's such an achievement, isn't it?
Yeah. Just
Yes. Yeah, you've done brilliantly. So I'm definitely looking forward to the podcast. So when is your next series of the podcast due to start?
Well, all depends. You know, myself and Gemma are both working women, and of course life happens, with especially me moving and all of that. So we took a very short break. We do have a few episodes actually already recorded. It's just finding that time of when we want to launch, because we like to launch with a little chat with me and Gemma, just like giving you a catch up of where our lives are before we get deep into the conversation, and really sharing our real life. Because at the end of the day, we could sit there and put out podcast episodes every week, but it's not reality. And it's just great to show that we are real women working other responsibilities. So we took some time for ourselves, and we will be looking, I think we're aiming for like mid-March, but let's see. That we don't
see how it goes. Well, it's like our beautiful pageant team. We have like taken a break, because self-care is important, and obviously family is important. And we chilled out over Christmas. Then, due to unseen circumstances, I'll get my words out right. You know, things change, and you have to kind of, you know, just take that little bit of extra time. But like I say, self-care is important at all times for everyone. So your platform is supporting women with families and domestic abuse. So supporting women and families with domestic abuse. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so my platform is really like close to my heart, and I will never forget when I actually made up my mind to say this is going to be my platform, and this is a topic I want to speak about, because not many girls in pageantry at the time had this platform. I felt like it was important to really spark the conversation, especially around families, because, you know, there was a lot focus on, you know, what the survivor goes through, or what the victim is going through at the time, but not think about the aftermath, the kids that live in the home, how it affects them, you know, how they grow up, and what lives and how do they adapt to that. And because I grew up in a home where domestic abuse was present, and it was almost dismissed about, you know, how it affected me in that sense. And it took a quite later on of when something clicked and go, oh, experiencing all of this, even though I wasn't the one being abused, but seeing it and interacting with that had a lot of effects on my confidence, or how I would approach relationships and so forth. So when I came to realization of that, I was just like, oh, now I've, you know, accepted it in myself. I'm going to really now spread the message and spread awareness of it, because I just felt like, domestic abuse seems too much like a taboo subject, because they're like, oh, it's something that happens in the privacy of the home. But yes, it does. But is it right? No. So why are we all keeping quiet about it? So that's very much the approach. And it just shows, like, when we went into lockdown and then when there was this rise of domestic abuse, people were like, oh my God. But it's been happening for a long time. It was only because we were stuck in homes, that it became more apparent that this is an issue. And it's so good to just see the government making a change, passing new bills as well to really support people that have been going through this. And this is whether it's in their homes or friends, or, and really providing that help for anyone that needs it, whether it's the children or, the survivor and what they're going through, because we often don't understand that abuse doesn't just happen when it's happening. It does have a serious aftermath for years to come in your life. So it's just a topic we just need to continue speaking about until we can recover and it become a norm to know that it's wrong and it should just stop happening, basically.
Yeah. So basically, just by talking about it, I mean, it encourages more people to talk about it and sort of, come out their shell about it a bit. But how did you personally deal with it yourself when you started talking about it and you started doing your platforms and everything? How did it make you feel and your sort of recovery of how you've been hurt in the past?
Yeah, so for me, I would say at the time when I made a decision that I was going to speak about it, I already came to my realization. I went through the gutters, let's say, and felt confident that I was happily to speak about it. And I also educated myself a lot. I did an extreme amount of research. My chosen charity, Celeste Women's Aid, as well as just Women's Aid in general, provide a lot of like free seminars, webinar classes that you can do. And I have gone to do like professional training to be able to support people that are going through that as well. So it was only when I felt confident to speak up on this subject that I chose to, because it is such a touchy topic. And if you're not self-aware and not fully clued up with what's out there, you could end up, just going through like wires, or just saying, oh, just post this or resharing it. It's a topic that you do need to dig deeper on. So it was important for me to be able to do that. And how I actually started, it was just sharing on the type of abuses that were out there and just spreading awareness on that. And then I branched off into like my campaign and then my podcast. So, it took me steps before I felt comfortable to like open something like a podcast and having those conversations. But even down to today, I'm still learning. I recently, only a few weeks ago, if not even last week, all my weeks are kind of merged at the moment. I attended a webinar that Women Aid had on, and it was all talking about how domestic abuse affect women of color, and what type of support is out there for them and where they can go. And this is not just Black women, we're talking about women from like South India with different cultures that are totally different from here in the UK. And understanding what conversation a counselor should have, what's right, what's wrong. And it was such an eye-opener even for myself. Even for myself to even listen to. I was just like, whoa, it was you never stop learning. So I continue to learn and educate myself, and I will just continue to speak out and spread awareness and raise money for my chosen charity as much as I can.
No, that's absolutely incredible. And when you do go deeper with this subject, you do realize it is a constant learning curve, isn't it? You're always learning, because so many people from different cultures, from different backgrounds, they're all experiencing a lot of different things. But yeah, it's really, really good you're doing that. And I'm like I say, this podcast sounds absolutely fantastic, where you are going to have those deeper conversations, so people are going to learn more themselves from it. So but anyway, let's have a little change of subject. So I just want to ask you, obviously there's something happening this weekend. How are you feeling about that?
Oh gosh, it's when you have a bowl, like a bottle of emotions, it's all like in one go. I have excitement, I have nerves, I have a sense of achievement to actually make it
Yeah.
here after 2 years. But it's all, I couldn't really sum up all the words to tell you what I'm feeling. I mean, after this interview, I still have to like go and pack and prepare and but it's just
It seems to be a running theme from people I'm speaking to tonight with packing,
I mean,
Every-
everyone knows what it's like. It's because last time I competed in Yemi was 2019. That was the last time
Wow.
I
Wow.
competed. And, I've attended a few pageants in between and I've packed, fine. But now it's my time to compete. I'm thinking, oh my days, what do I need? How much do I need? I think I'm just going to start being brutal and just pack what's needed versus thinking
Yeah.
of too many options. But I'm just super excited just to see all the finalists because we have our group chats and make conversations, but many I still have not met in person. So I'm just looking forward to that and just to go through the whole finals to say that,
Yeah.
we made it there. And Jayan has done so great of just keeping us all there and informed all the way and making adaptations when things change and having cancellations. So to be able to make it there overall, we should all be proud that we be able to stand on that stage.
I think it's going to be really emotional on Sunday, to be honest, or the whole weekend for you guys, because it's been such a long journey. I
Yeah.
think there's going to be lots of laughter, hugging, tears, emotions. It's going to be absolutely fabulous, and I cannot wait to come and support you. We
Yeah.
really are. So, going back to some really positive things that have happened this year as well. There's been a lot of noticeable changes with diversity in pageants this year. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. So, what are
Yeah.
your views on that?
We've taken a massive like turn. I just do believe that there's still, of course, space for improvement. We're not stopping here at all. We're going to keep going. But just seeing like, pageants, even just adjusting their age limits to accept women a bit older than 25, 24, because
Yeah.
let's say not everybody wants to do a pageant at that age. So just adjusting that miss category to get women in at a more mature age, as well as seeing women, curvy women of different backgrounds, women being able to wear their hair. For me is a big deal, because if we go in there, I used to change my hair so much just to fit in for pageantry. And now knowing that I could just be me with my hair and see women getting crowned with their afros and, short hair,
Yes.
it's just like,
Yes.
it's a phenomenal change. And even just here in the UK, just watching like how many great women getting crowned of different background, different shapes, sizes, and different beliefs as well. It's just phenomenal. And we can just keep going. A big
Yeah.
part of this, actually, on my stance when it comes to equality in pageants, just look out for one of my outfits on the night, because
Oh,
it's
I
very
can't
much,
wait now. You've just
very
made me
much.
even more excited. But no,
I
it
think
is
I
very
gave away
important.
too much there, actually. Probably should have said that.
It's okay. Shh, don't worry. This is fine. We'll pretend no one heard it.
No, but it very much is my, it shows what it meant to me in the equality, like what it all stands for, not just in pageant but outside and for myself. So I've actually designed one of my outfits to very much represent that sums it up in, how can you sum up something that you're not speaking? It very much will speak for itself when you do see it.
Oh, I can't wait. You've just made me even more excited. But yeah, changes are happening, but it's very, very important to for people to think that these changes still need to progress, still things changes still need to happen. But it is so lovely to see such a change in the last
Oh,
couple of
amazing.
years.
I think that, my even one thing that I would like even to continue, if crowned or not crowned on Sunday, is just sparking those conversation about even changing little things about pageant requirements, not just requirements, but what's required when we talk about rounds, when we talk about like color shoes. And when you say nude shoes, you need to take in account that not everyone can find their nude shoes. It's not exactly like walking Kurt Geiger or Dune and find these shoes. So it's just
Difficult
adjusting.
job.
Yeah, it's just sparking conversations around that. And when we talk about like with curvy women wouldn't necessarily would maybe not prefer to wear like certain colors as opening round, or might not be able to find the color in an appropriate dress for that or for interview. So it's just, you know, little conversation still needs to be going, but we are in the right step. So as long as we all come together and, you know, no matter what our background, no matter what our privilege, just really stand up for what's not right and how we can make it better. Because at the end of the day, if we sit there and pretend it's okay, we're never going to make that change. So I'm all for sparking the conversation, and it's my goal with pageant land, to be honest. It's like to really stand up for those diversity women and shout out to what changes can be made. And just talk about, I could go on for ages, to be honest. Talk about prizes and offering certain things as prizes does not, you know, go for everyone. And I know it's hard, but again, it's just listening to people, you know, myself that absolutely love pageants and not coming from a bitter place at all, but just to have that guidance. I think it's good to have an overall so that everyone can stand there and feel proud to say, oh, I'm doing this pageant because they have so and so and so, and they cater to absolutely everyone. And you know, this weekend at Yemi, we have a few quite a lot number of women of color across all rounds, which is not normal. So it's really great to see it happening as well.
Oh, I can't wait to see you all rock that stage actually on Sunday. It's going to be amazing. And like I think it's going to be electric as well, because like I say, it's been such a long journey for you all. But how much you've achieved in the last 2 years, you must be so proud of yourself. What an incredible journey. I mean, crown or not, at the end of the day, what you've achieved is absolutely incredible. And you've got a lovely folder as well, done 88 appearances. 88, that's good, that is, isn't it? Yeah, I like it, because a lot of people don't realize as well, is, you know, if you're a parent or you're working full time and things like that, sometimes to get these appearances in, it's quite hard work, isn't it? You know, and you really do have to work it around your life, because people have jobs, people have, you know, families and things like that, and other commitments. But you've done absolutely incredible. I know you talked about your favourite appearance earlier, or one of your favourite appearances, but I was going to ask you that question. So, what has been your most favourite appearances? Is there another couple that really stand out for you?
Yeah, of course. I think, like, I would say runner up would be the first time we actually was able to do something in person for pageant land, and I believe it was a pageant playground. I think it was a weekend quite filled, because it was Stacey and Leah's like Chinese buffet, and then it was pageant playground, which was just amazing, just to see faces and just being able to dress up as one just come out my jammies and then just to see other pageant girls were just like really phenomenal. And then going back to my first pageant, you know, post all the lockdown and everything, was just great to have, and just to see people and catch up, because even though we did do like video calls and quizzes, it's very much not the same. And it was even better when we could hug and you can like give a big squeeze to like it's everything.
It's amazing. And that food was nice, wasn't it?
Oh gosh, I think
I
wore
raffles and Chinese food. We like that. It was fabulous. I mean, I think I drove about 3 hours for that, and I was like, do you know what? So worth it. Don't care. I want to see some people. Woo!
Yeah, it was all worth it.
It was fabulous actually. But the funny thing is, I actually got a car parking ticket because I stayed for a lot longer than I thought. But the restaurant actually were ever so good. They phoned them up and cancelled it for me, because I was like,
nice.
I didn't even know there was a limit on parking in here. So that lady did sort it out for me. It's very nice. So I'll ask you a bit of a random one just to finish off though, because I always like a bit of a random one, because it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? So if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be?
I'm just going to go with my favorite fruit, and I also think that it very much explains my personality as well. I would be a pineapple. A pineapple represents hospitality. It represents hospitality, and my very much my personality and years of working in hospitality as well. I like to, accommodate people, taking care of them, make dinner, invite them to my house and so forth like that. As well as if we look at the outside of the pineapple, it can be very deceiving. It looks very prickly and very scary, but when you cut it open, you start eating it, it's like nice, sweet and juicy. So that sums up. I might look prickly, but really and truly, I am the sweetest, bubbly, flavorful person you'll ever meet.
You certainly are, but I still can't get you look prickly though. I'm not understanding that bit. You're just lovely anyway.
We have time. If you ever catch me on a hungry or low sugar moment, you'll see a different person.
Yeah, I think my husband sees that with me in the morning as well. I wake up literally looking like a rooster sometimes. My hair's out here somewhere. I remind myself of Patsy from Absolutely Fabulous. That's what it remind me of. When I wake up like this, my hair like that. But yeah, I bet you still look beautiful, even in a bin bag. You'd be fine. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure, speaking with you. For my first Queen's Table of the year, and it's great. So our team is going to be back, and we are going to be doing lots and lots of things this year, and obviously inviting guests on for a weekly Queen's Table. So, but we wish you all the best of luck on Sunday. I literally am going to cry, aren't I?
I think I'll end up crying. I might cry on for tomorrow when I arrive.
Yeah, I think I better bring lots of tissues. That might be a good idea. So, but yeah, we've got a big support group down. There's a lot of us traveling down from Somerset, so I'm going with my friend Sarah. So we will be there and we will be supporting. So we can't wait. So anyway, that is the end of this Queen's Table, and thank you so much for coming on. Next week we have a very bubbly lady that is it's going to be a crazy interview. I can tell this with me and this one. So next week you've got the very beautiful Mrs. Atlantic, Natasha, and I tell you what, it's not one to be missed because she's such a bubbly, lovely, I tell you, and it will be a fun interview. So, okay, so what we're going to do now is off I'm going to go, and I will catch you next week. If you would like to join us for Queen's Table, please give me a message anytime you like, or the Pageant Land team, give them a message. You can message on either one, either on Instagram or Facebook, and I will send you a link where you can book in any system. It's all going to be changing next month to 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night. So we are changing time and the day in the week, but please contact me to come on, and I will see you next week. Take care though.